Live with the community, this is the Viva Connections and SharePoint Framework bi-weekly sync. Today is June 13th, 2024, and we have got three amazing presenters set up for today. But first, let's take a look at what our agenda is for the call. So we're going to get the latest updates on SharePoint Framework. Then we're going to talk to a plethora of community people that are doing amazing work on projects within our community, such as PNP.js, CLI for Microsoft 365, Developer Proxy, reusable SPFx controls, the SPFx VS Code extension toolkit, search web parts. Oh my goodness, so many new samples for ACEs and web parts. So we are excited to hear all the latest and greatest updates. And then, of course, everybody's favorite time. What time is that? Picture time. So get those fantastic faces ready to be captured by the camera. And then we are going to have, as I mentioned, three amazing, fantastic, wonderful, superlative, super cool demos by three amazing, I'm not going to do that again, but we're going to have amazing presenters. Guido is here to talk about using MGT login control in SPFx, and then Stefan is here to talk about using NPM workspace for making management of complex SPFx solutions super easy. And Adam's back. He's going to be talking about that toolkit, SPFx Toolkit, and showcasing getting started with SPFx with SPFx Toolkit. Almost like Inception there with SPFx. Didn't we do this yesterday? Groundhog Day? That's right, but we love it, so we're going to learn more about it. Let's talk about some resources that are available to all of us in the community first. These are a plethora, I said it again, a collection, a cornucopia of resources that are absolutely free for each and every one of you. We're going to start out with our learning videos. This is the new Microsoft Community Learning Videos YouTube channel. I say new, but it's kind of like a rebrand because, you know, that's what we do here at Microsoft. We rename things. And, of course, it is still the great, wonderful, amazing content that we've come to know and love by the community. So check that out. If you want to get more involved, we have our LinkedIn community as well. So you can take advantage of learning more all about that there, and you can collaborate with other like-minded folks there within LinkedIn. We've got our open source projects, which we'll hear about today. Of course, we've got all our samples galleries that span the spectrum of technology that we love. And you do not have to remember all these URLs. You only need to remember one. That is aka.ms/community/home, and it'll give you access to all that wonderful goodness. Speaking of that goodness, it's got a new, fresh look. We've been talking about this for a while, but we did want to remind those because we always got new ones on the call. This is an updated look and feel. So it's got things like our upcoming events, all our calls. In fact, if you were to go there now, don't, because we want you to stay here. But if you were, you would see that this call is live. How cool is that? And we've got all the upcoming community calls, the forums, all the blog posts are being dynamically generated and uploaded there for your consumption. So take advantage of all of that. And I had mentioned that a new Microsoft Community Learning channel. Again, it's not necessarily new, just a new name. It is still the Microsoft 365 Power Platform community driven, but now we're talking about Microsoft Community Learning because we're expanding the scope of what it is that we're going to be including. So think of things like Dynamics 365, Copilot, all these wonderful technologies that we use and love every single day. We are now able to showcase that from across the community in this YouTube account. So definitely take advantage of that and go like and subscribe and smash that button. Okay? And you'll get updated on the latest. Now, you're in this call because you like community calls, so do we. So we want to make sure that you're aware of all of our available community calls. We've got our weekly Microsoft Speakers community call. Now, this is one that's going to go on break here in July and August, so just be aware of that. But we've got things in place on the new website that'll let you know when it's on break, so you won't got to worry about, is it on break? Is it off break? Are we on a break? Are we on a break? You'll be back. So after August, we will be back, but this is Microsoft-only speakers, which means you're going to get it directly from those product managers and those program managers, and you're going to hear directly from the horse's mouth. That's right, that horse. So definitely get signed up for that, and we will make sure that you keep up to date on everything. We've got our monthly Power Platform, which is coming up next week. We've got three amazing presenters for that too. Office add-ins, and our two sibling bi-weekly calls, Microsoft 365 Power Platform, which will be next week, and of course the Viva Connections SharePoint Framework that you are in now. You only, again, need to go to one place, ak.ms/community/calls, and get all those invites. Put it on your calendar. That way you will not miss any of these wonderful calls. And speaking of that next Tuesday call, on the 18th of June, Milan's going to be back. We've got a lot of Copilot stuff coming up. I know it's a shocker, but extending Copilot with Azure Communication Services. And Luca, Liana, and Logan will be there talking about creating Copilot extensibility using SPFx and adaptive cars. So an awesome combination there. Again, go to those URLs for the calls to get the invites so that you don't miss a single one of them. And of course, as you're watching today, you may be thinking, well, I got some cool stuff to share myself. I've kind of like what I created. I want to share it. We want you to share it. So these calls are absolutely open to each and every one of you to present. And now, don't overthink it. Don't think that you have to show how fire was invented or anything like that. If you've got something that you've used or created, a script or a demo or a utility, share it with the world. We absolutely want to make sure that you have a platform in which to do that. These are your calls, and so we want to assist you in doing that as well. Just go fill out this request. One of us from the request form, one of us from the team will reach out to you and get it scheduled. And if you need a buddy too, we can buddy up with you and help you craft that presentation and even give the presentation. We've done that in the past as well. So we really encourage everyone to take advantage of these offerings that we have to help highlight what you're doing in the community. It's our way of saying thank you. Now, if you are contributing and you'd like to learn a little bit more about, say, I've got a sample I want to submit to GitHub, but I really don't know what a pull request is, or what is a fork, or what is blame, what is raw, what is all these things? I don't understand it. The Hub of Gits is confusing. Our Sharing is Caring program is here to provide you hands-on guidance, and that means that we are going to join a live Teams call together and work through a process. So on our next samples contributor session on June 24th, which is just in a couple of weeks, we will walk you through how to make a GitHub pull request, which means that you'll actually be submitting a sample in that call. It will count as a contribution. And it's not recorded. So I know we're all always kind of like, I don't want to ask a question because should I already know the answer to this? And then it's going to get recorded. I'm going to be forever stressing out. Don't worry, because we don't record them. And it is absolutely a safe space to ask any and all questions and learn together. So don't hesitate, get signed up. We had another one last month, and we're going to be scheduling these a lot more consistently now. So we appreciate everybody's patience on that. So definitely get involved there. And once you do contribute to the community, we want to recognize you for all the amazing work that you're doing with our recognition program. So these are badges that are officially and formally powered by Credly, which means that they are accredited. They can be associated to your account, just like those certification badges of the past have been, and you're able to put them on your resume, associate them to your LinkedIn profile. You can frame them, put them on the wall behind you. I would recommend that. You can put them on your blog, put them anywhere and everywhere on the fridge. The kids will be proud, and we want to thank you. So this is alive and well. We're adding in some new badges here coming soon. Some are samples and our multiverse contributor badge. So we're excited for all that coming up. So definitely get involved there. Just need you to opt in, absolutely free, aka.ms/community/recognition, and we will track all the work that you're doing. Okay, let's move into SharePoint Framework, and we will pass it over to Vesta to give us the latest updates from engineering.
Excellent. Quick updates in here. I think the biggest one, which we talked about last time as well, is definitely the SPFx and Copilot. There was a demo on this one in BRK144, and we will do a live community call on this one next Tuesday. So there will be a 20-minute demo showcasing what does this mean in practice and how can you, in the future, build SPFx-powered Copilot chat extensibility, which is really, really cool. Awesome investment area for sure. So more and more investments on SPFx as well. Let's go to the following slide. 1.19 was released in April. 1.20 yet to be confirmed. What is the timeline on that one? But we do know that we will have definitely new chart types for Viva Connection, technical stack updates. All of that stuff is coming in 1.20. But we'll get the ETA on that one shared immediately when we know high-level timelines on that. But right now, everybody is focusing on Copilot, which is not that big of a surprise. But we're looking into also making sure that the baseline keeps on going well in SPFx in the future. More on all of that later. But that's a quick update on SPFx roadmap. Let's go to the individual projects.
Awesome, thank you. By the way, is it just me? I just realized that when you said BRK144, it reminded me of like the names they give to stormtroopers.
Oh, that's good.
Am I the only one?
Yes.
BRK144, what's your position? Right. We should all dress up for build next year. Okay, yeah. All right, let's move into open source projects, and we'll kick it off with PNP.js and Julie Turner.
Yes, I'm finally here. I got Outlook to ping me that the meeting was going to happen. Woo! It's, woo! Getting that Outlook to work. We had a version 4.1.1 release on June 5th. That was actually not anything, nothing was actually released. We did it because we had a version 3 support release to roll out a fix for the graph batching, and forgot that when you roll out a previous version, it becomes the latest one. So if you did an npm install and didn't specify latest, you were getting version 3. So we did a 4.1.1 release to just make it the latest. We'll do another one in a few more days if we have stuff to release. Again, with version 3 support, we're only releasing bugs that are critical to make version 3 continue to work. There is not a significant difference between version 3 and version 4. It's all the same setup. Most everything works the same. There's just significantly more graph support and some small number of deprecation things and or things that have moved. So we really, really, really highly encourage you, if you're using version 3, to move to version 4. It's not the same situation as like the version 2 to 3 move. So definitely check that out. And as always, if there is a fix that you are interested in the V4 branch, you can check out the V4 nightly build to see what got pushed in and test it out and make sure that that fix works before we do an official V4 build. And as always, follow us on the LinkedIn community, Microsoft 365 platform community. That is where we do most of our updates. So definitely follow us there for more information. All right, David, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Julie. Great stuff. Let's move on to CLI for Microsoft 365. Gary's out today, so we'll just quickly cover this. Version 7.9.0 beta is out, and so we want to also recognize Matthias for joining the maintainer team, so thank you for him stepping up and leaning in for that. Again, we've got badges for CLI, so it's a great way to get involved if you want to contribute. But for those that are new, CLI stands for Command Line Interface. It's your way to interact with all kinds of the wonderful Microsoft technologies through that command line interface that many of us keyboard warriors love to do. So if you've not ever checked it out, it has got a lot of very cool features that are there, like Doctor and all kinds of stuff to help you understand your projects and solutions. So check it out. ak.ms/CLI-M365. It is a wonderful tool. And if you have any questions, follow up with Gary. Let's talk about reusable SPFx controls. So again, don't reinvent the wheel. These React controls and React property controls are meant to allow you to quickly and efficiently deliver features that we sometimes wish were already out of the box, right? So, or that maybe we want to extend and do better things to. So there's some new controls that were released in May. Of course, we want to thank all of our contributors. Alex has been keeping this updated along with the help of everybody else. But again, these are controls that allow us to take advantage of recreating or creating new controls. Again, they're reusable, which means that, hey, don't reinvent the wheel. Use the controls that are already here, that are created by the community, and provide all kinds of amazing extensibility into the environments for SPFX that we absolutely love to work in. And then you can add all the cool stuff that you really wanted to add and leave all this basic stuff to what we've already worked on together. So that's a wonderful way to kind of accelerate some of that. All right, let's move into SharePoint Framework Toolkit with Adam.
Yeah, I won't have this much amount of energy as you, David, but thanks a lot. So hi, everybody. SharePoint Framework Toolkit is a VS Code extension that aims to boost your productivity, help you basically at every stage of development when it comes to SharePoint Framework solutions. And we are still having the last pre-release 3.2.1 as our last thing we released, but we are prepping for the next minor release where we had some housekeeping kind of things. So improved chat prompts, because in the last pre-release we added SPFx dedicated AI GitHub chat assistant, so participant, whatever you call it. Okay, but it's inside GitHub Copilot. You can now ask for the SPFX related questions, which is pretty cool. And I will do a small demo at the end of today's demo about it. It will be part of my demo in a demo inception. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, and we are preparing for a next minor release, which will now be now this chat extension will be part of a minor release, not a pre-release. So you won't have to opt in for a pre-release to get it. Along the way, we had a contribution from Sarabach Tripathi. Sorry, probably I totally mispronounced, but thanks a lot, man. You rock totally, and you did an awesome refactor in making our code base totally better. So thanks a lot. And we added also a missing ACE template with that came along with SPFx 1.19. Sorry, my bad. I forgot to extend it with additional template for the data visualizer with the the line chart card. Remember one of those? It was added. Okay. Anyway, it was added, and now we added it, so it will be in the next minor. And be sure to give it a try if you are doing any kind of SPFX development. It will boost your life and will make your life easier when it comes to SharePoint Framework development. Give it a try. Happy coding, everybody. Back to you, David.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. All right, let's get into fancy search with Casper.
Yeah, thank you, David. Well, we have just released the new version is in the preview right now, so we hope that we have a lot of goodies to present to you in 2 weeks' time. But I can lift a little bit of the cover on this one, and we have an Italian version now. So if anybody who's using Italian on their tenant, they now have the opportunity to have these web parts in Italian as well. And we also have a new layout available from Phil on the picture, as you see it, and he has made a new layout for events that is out of the box, and you can have just download it and use it as you please. So I hope that we'll see a lot of goodies within the next 2 weeks, because we would like to test it before we release it. So back to you, David.
Awesome. Or should I say grazie for the new Italian version. Excellent. All right. Okay, let's quickly get back into the samples. So Hugo is out this week. He's at EPPC presenting, so we wish him all the best. But we do have SPFx samples available to you for web parts and extensions. He'll be processing anything that is in the pull request waiting to be processed. And again, you can go submit samples and or use those samples. And if you want to learn more about them, then join the Sharing is Caring as well. And then we also have the ACEs, and Anoop is here to give us a little update on that.
Yeah, thanks, David. So yeah, unfortunately, no new samples in the ACEs repository this week. But just to give you an overview of ACEs, so if you've got Viva Connections enabled in your organization, you can personalize and extend them. And one way of doing that is through ACEs or adaptive card extensions. So these ACEs, they enable users to quickly view the information at a glance or interact with them in the form of cards, as shown in some of the screenshots over there. So these are adaptive cards, and these can surface information from different systems within your organization, like your annual leave system or expenses system, or from external sources as well. Now, Microsoft provides some of these ACEs out of the box. We can create our own ACEs as well, and one repository to find all those custom ACEs is the PNP SPFx ACEs repository. So do check it out, aka.ms/SPFx-ACEs, and contribute some samples if you have some. Back to you, David.
Awesome, thank you. Nope, sounds like these adaptive card extensions can be our ace in the hole to lead to a full house. Oh, okay, sorry. Todd's not here. I'll see myself out. It is now time for picture time. Hugo or Vess has already got it ready.
I think I am. Yep, we are a bit pixelated today. Let's see how this goes. Oh, it's getting better. This is really good. This is good. We have 50 seats again in a room. Let's see how many people will get there. David is dancing on the front row, so that's good. There we go. Everybody. Let's wait a few more seconds before we start recording. Everybody has a chance to enable the camera. And I guess that's pretty much maxing out on that one because we do have quite a few demos today. So let me actually get the recording on, and we'll capture a GIF animation out of that. So let's actually wave some hands, everybody. Thank you for joining once again on the community calls and on these pictures as well. These are always good. Hand wave, hey, everybody. We'll grab a GIF animation out of that. So I guess from a timing perspective, David, let's jump on the demos so we don't run out of time.
A couple minutes over time, but we will make it up, I'm sure. So we are going to kick it off with Guido on using MGT login control in SPFx. So Guido, if you'd like to take over the screen share, the floor is yours.
Sure, thanks. You should see my screen now.
I do, yep, looks fantastic.
Okay. Perfect. Hello, everyone. I'm Guido Zambarda. I'm a Microsoft certified senior software developer at pscs.com, and these are my social handles. And also, if you want, check out my blog. Now, starting with my presentation. It works. I will start setting some context. So for this sample, I want to introduce you the login control from the Microsoft Graph Toolkit. And to do so, my situation is that I have a SharePoint Framework solution which has installed the Microsoft Graph Toolkit with the npm command. And with that, I want to display a user avatar or user details, and also some customized flyout commands that I will show you. So starting with the demo, this is my demo environment, where you can see I have my multiple instances of the login control. And first of all, I want to show you a little bit detail about the behavior of the login control. So I will press F5 to refresh the page, and you will see that there are multiple login buttons. So here, I hope you can see those. Okay, because I'm inside the SharePoint site, so the login control intercept the logged in user, and it automatically logged me in. So just for the sake of showing you, I will refresh once again, and you can see the sign in buttons. After that, we have, as I said, multiple instances of the login control. And I split those by type. So we have the minimal usage instance, which is up here, and it will show the user avatar, the username, and also the email. And this is the default behavior of the control. Also, you can click on the control, and a flyout opens. And in this layout, you have by default the sign out button, and also the same user information. After that, you can, with this instance, show the presence of the user, which is not currently available for my demo user right now. But otherwise, you will see the classical icon, the green icon, red icon, etc. And proceeding, we have the avatar display, which displays only the user avatar. So if you have little space, you can use this instead of the full control. You can also have the compact display control, which displays the user avatar and also the username. We have the full display, which is the same as the minimal usage, because the default behavior of the login control is the full display. We have custom data, which, as you can see, I'm a ninja, and everyone should have a best friend ninja. And this is just for the sake of demonstrating it. You can display whatever information you want here. It's just an override of the default behavior of the control. Also, we have the full customization, where, as you can see, I totally replaced the avatar and name of the user with some custom text and icons. And also, if I click the flyout panel is a little bit different because I customized the buttons, so the flyout command bar, and also the flyout user detail, which shows the user avatar, the username, but also the user job role and the office location, and that's pretty cool, I think. And okay, and the last one is sorry, not the last one, I missed one. The customize flyout commands is just for showing you that you can customize only a part of the flyout. So in this case, I customized the flyout commands and not the flyout user display. And for the sake of demonstrating this, I also intercepted the click events on these icons. So I can, for example, I can add a friend, or also I can send a message to the user. And for this time for real, the last instance is login events, because I registered multiple events on the login. It doesn't show anything in the UI, but if I go to the console, I can see that a login completed event has been registered. And also, if I click on the sign out, a logout event as initiated. So let me switch to the code so I can show you how it is achieved. And this is my solution.
Hey, Guido, could you zoom in just a little bit so it'll be better for the recording?
Yeah. Sorry.
Awesome, thank you. No worries.
Is this okay?
Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. And in the main web part file, I have to import the SharePoint provider and also the providers from the at Microsoft NGT SPFx npm package to initialize the provider as a SharePoint provider with the context of my web part. So the user can automatically log in with the SharePoint credentials. Also switching to, sorry, okay, here I am. Switching to the component, here are the multiple instances I showed you. And as you can see, the minimal usage is just the login tag. So with this, you can show the user avatar, the username, and also the user email. After that, we have the show presence, where I defined only the show presence property, which will show or not the little icon, the green, red, yellow, or non-present icons. And here we have the 3 samples for the login view property, which, as you can see, specifying only avatar, compact, or full is a totally different behavior on the page. And just a quick reminder, the full behavior is the default one. Then we have the custom data, instance, where I created a custom object, which has to be of type iDynamicPerson, which is like a container that can contains, sorry for the word joke, and it can contains one or multiple of the properties that you have in these interfaces by the Microsoft Graph. And proceeding, we have the full customization instance, where I define the 4 templates that I want to customize. And those are the signed in button content, which is the default UI component displayed to the user when the user is already signed in. We have the signed out button content, which is in the opposite, the button that you, or the content that you can see when the user is not logged in. Also, we have the flyout commands and flyout person details, which are, as I said before, the flyout commands is the upper part of the flyout panel, and also the other part is the more center part. And to do this, I created a method down here, which just switch the proposed control based on the template. So when I have to show the user who's already signed in, I have the check my infos and also the icon to open the flyout. When I have the user not logged in, I will show simply an icon button to enable the user to sign in. And also here we have my 2 commands for the flyout commands. So the add friend and send message. And at last, we have the person details, which shows the user image and also the display name, job title, and office location. And for the last, sorry, again, not the last, but the second last, we have the customized flyout commands, which shows that you can customize only a part of the login control. So to do that, you have to define which part of the control you want to override and customize. And in this case, it's just the flyout commands part. And then we have the login event instance, which, as you can see, has multiple possible events where you can subscribe and do everything you need before, for example, the login, or maybe you want to check something when the login failed or send some emails and tracing options and so on. So switching back to my slides, just a couple of references. You have the possibility to check the official documentation if you want to discover more, because I covered only a part of the possible properties of the login control. And also, if you want to check out the code I just showed you, you can check it out on my GitHub repo. And that's it. Thank you all.
Awesome.
Back to you, David.
Excellent, Guido. I love how you outlined all the different options that are available. We put the links in the chat, everybody, if you'd like to check it out. And of course, we'll see if Guido would be willing to put that up in the PMP samples repo as well. It'd be a great, wonderful opportunity for the rest of you. So we welcome it. So we'll get with you on that. Thank you so much. And thanks for getting us back on time as well. So you rock. Okay, well, we will move on to Stefan, and he's going to talk about using NPM Workspace for making management of complex SPFx solutions easy. Stefan, take it away.
Yeah, thank you. My topic today is using NPM Workspaces for making management and complex SPFx solutions easier, right? Why do we want to do this? I have customers.
Hey, Stefan, could you throw that into presentation mode for us just so the video is a little bit better?
Which one in the presenter mode?
Lower right-hand corner, right next to the Zoom. Perfect. Excellent. Looks fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. I have customer projects which has one SPFx solution, two SPFx solution. I don't want to split them out in dedicated repos. I would just want to have them, for example, just in one repo. This makes it also easier to find the customer projects easier because I just have one customer, one repo per customer. Multiple SPFx web parts and extensions, the more we have in the single solution, the slows down the build chain. So I also want to accomplish this with the NPM Workspaces. And it also should be easier to upgrade the new SPFx projects. When we have multiple GitHub repos, then I also need to browse all the different GitHub repos for my customer and upgrade each solution alone. This I need to do as well, but in here I just have to check out one repo per customer, and then I can upgrade to the latest and greatest new SPFx version. Another thing is what I love to do, or what I love to use, is NPM package instead of the SPFx component libraries, which also runs on the same node projects. I want to share code better between SPFx project, and also, like we all know, the node modules folder gets pretty big over time, but I also want to reduce, and NPM Workspaces enable us to reduce the amount of space that it consumes on our hard disk. It also brings us better automation and better testing across multiple projects. So how does this look like, or what is NPM Workspaces in general? NPM Workspaces is a monorepo tool from Node.js. You can use NPM or you can use Yarn. And the monorepo, if you never heard this term before, it's a single repository containing multiple distinct projects with well-defined relationships. That's the official documentation, or the official description of a monorepo. In our case, it looks like this. So I have on top the repo at all. Then I have the SPFx project 1, SPFx project 2, and I can do this with endless SPFx projects. And then I can also put in two other things like component libraries that all these SPFx projects share, or style guides. And they all share just one common node modules folder. So far the theory. Let me quickly jump into how this looks in SPFx. So we have, as we have in the SPFx projects here, the package.json. So I'm here on the root of my project. I created the package.json here, which only needs to have the name, which is all customer 1 project. So all projects from my customer 1. And then I can define in here workspaces. So workspaces actually matches the folders. So SPFx project 1 matches to SPFx project 1. And this gives an indication for Node.js where to look for all these projects. And then I have SPFx project 2 and the library components. For SPFx, we need to do something special. And what you see here is in the script section. This script section allows me to start any SPFx project that I want directly from the root of the project. So I don't have to navigate into SPFx project 1 to start SPFx project 1 to compile. So we have here the SPFx clean, which then gives an indication where we have a variable in here, where these project folder is actually located. And I did also the same thing with the SPFx serve, the SPFx build, bundle, and package. These are just the template pieces that I can then reuse for all projects. The definition, what you see how you can start, for example, SPFx project 1 is here, SPFx:serve, which then npm run SPFx serve and passes in this project variable that you see here as the node as npm_config_ project. So this will be automatically replaced with this token that I give in here. So when I add a new project, for example, then I only need to copy this block, change the variables, and I'm able to run this project in here as well. These are regular SPFx projects. What you see here, SPFx project 1 and SPFx project 2. What we also have in there is the library component. And the library component, I kept it really simple. So this is just simply one TypeScript file, which has an export of a string in here, and has a package JSON file, which actually defines that this is an individual package, which is currently version 1.0.1. And the main entry for every script when you import it into another TypeScript solution then is lib main index. And that's all for this project. And what it simply does, it compiles this one into this JavaScript file. And I also can define this directly from the root what it actually should do. So the lib component build is the tsc TypeScript compile. Then the project name is in the library component and where the tsconfig is to find. And then I have also the watch. So I can also use it for development. What we also have in here, the test definition. So npm run test workspaces means that it runs all the tests over all the workspaces. And the if present means, for example, I haven't defined an npm test for the library component or something like that. Then it completely skips this piece of the project. And of course, we sometimes need to clean out our node modules folder. So I have the clean colon in here, which does remove all subfolders from all the node modules folder that I have in here. So this is the entry point where I can run all the scripts from here. When, for example, we want to start, or let's say we do an SPFx, we do SPFx serve, then I simply can go in here and you see I'm here on the folder. It's -al. Make it a little bit bigger. Then I can simply npm run SPFx1 serve, and it automatically starts up the build chain. Of course, I don't have anything in here, so it starts this project. When I want to switch over, then I can also do SPFx project 2, and it starts project 2, and then I can serve it in the browser. But what also this enables me some really cool stuff, because I can directly develop the library component and I can, for one, I can reference the library component as if it were an npm package that I published somewhere. So what you see here in SPFx project 1 is the library-component 1.0.1, the same thing that you saw over here. So it directly references this project over here without any problem. And it also detects when I change something in here as well. So like I said, the node modules folder, we have a small node modules folder. The TypeScript version here is a little bit different. We have a small node modules folder inside the SPFx project, which is the Microsoft React DOM and scheduler, what we have in here. But the majority of all the node modules can be found in here. So even though SPFx project 2 uses the same packages, then it automatically goes to node modules in the root folder. So what I can do now is, what you see here is I want to develop something in my SPFx project 1. As well, I need to do something and add something in the library component here. So what I can run now, in parallel. And here is the libcomp watch. Watch, if I'm not mistyped myself, yeah, of course I did. Watch, and I can also say the SPFx one and serve. Now I run both in parallel. So what you see here, the last output was from the SPFx build chain. The first output where there were found 0 errors, watching for file changes, was from the library component. So when I go over to the library component, and let's say we change something in here, hello library component, and add SPFx here. So what you see here is it has automatically compiled the library component, and the index has now this one in here. And in the SPFx web part, let me show you how I used it in here with the web parts. Is I have here in my web part, project 1, web part TS1, I have imported the library component like so from the node modules directly. I have here debugged the library component that it shows what it actually put out, and I then get the web part the string directly into my web part. This is a really simple sample in here. And let me go over to the browser. So this is the old version. Remember when we haven't had the SPFx at the end. So what I need to do now is, and you will see this automatically refreshed in here. So the only thing that I need to do, and let's show you first the output of the console. So I save this now. Now the SPFx build chain kicks in and recompiles everything. And if I'm fast enough, now we have automatically the SPFx at the end. I can show you that this really works and there's no rocket science. So let's remove the SPFx, or let's say here, SPFx is awesome. Save it here. Then of course I also sadly need to, for now, save the project web part as well. Now it refreshes and I have SPFx is awesome in here. And this is, I can work simultaneously on the library component, on the SPFx component, and of course I could also share this library component or different library components in the same npm pack in the same GitHub repo across all the different SPFx projects. The last thing is here, can I use it with PNPM? No, you cannot use it with PNPM. PNPM uses an experimental feature from Node.js, which it hasn't been updated in a while. It might disappear in future. It don't follows the Node.js standards. What I used with npm, for example, you can also use Yarn. They use completely the same structure. You set up the scripts completely the same. npm and Yarn in this regards work together with Node.js. And with PNPM, you might see breaking changes in future, and it has similar features, but they're really different to set up and do something in here. But I'm more like use what Node.js actually is doing, and that's why I use more likely npm and Yarn. And also you find in the documentation, which I will then share with you after this, you find a couple of articles. So there's a blog post I did a while ago about using npm and Yarn workspaces. Then there's the official documentation on npm workspaces and Yarn workspaces, the TypeScript, how you set this up for a monorepo like this. And there's some considerations from Andrew Connell about sharing code in SPFx solution, why npm libraries versus library components in SPFx.
Awesome stuff, Stefan. Thank you. This is awesome because it just shows how to utilize multiple SPFx solutions, which I think is great because most of us are working with multiple solutions, and like you said, across multiple node modules and versions and all kinds of stuff. And I'm a huge fan as well of library components. So thank you for, I think they're underutilized. So thank you for kind of showcasing them. Really great stuff.
Thank you.
I see Adam has already taken over. So Adam is going to talk in his first of a multi-part series, or should we say multiverse? No, multi-part series, getting started with SPFx Toolkit in the SPFx Toolkit. Adam, take it away.
Yeah, okay. So actually you did the first slide, so perfect. Thanks a lot. And hi everybody. So in case you don't know me, my name is Adam. I'm father of a really awesome kid, and just a standard dev. And please do reach me out directly if you need anyone to chat or need any kind of support. Okay, let's move on. So if you're on the call, probably you already know what is SPFx, but basically just a short recap is a easiest, I would say, extensibility model to extend Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, Outlook, Microsoft.com, and the only extensibility model that allows you to extend Viva, which is kind of cool. It's easy because it has many features that makes your life easy, like auto-hosting, which I'm a huge fan of, and many others, which, of course, probably most of you are aware of, but let's skip it for now. Okay, and what is the SharePoint Framework Toolkit then? Well, this is a VS Code extension that will help you with writing, managing everything around SPFx, basically. So you can get it directly from the VS Code marketplace. It's open source and open for contributions. So if you are waiting or searching for doing some open source stuff, you can contribute here and help us create the best SPFx tooling in the world. It's done together with Microsoft, so part of the team are Microsoft employees, and we are basically consulting with them. Are we going in the right direction? And the bigger features we want to introduce, we are checking with them. Are we on track? If maybe there will be a Microsoft dedicated product that will add support to it, and if not, then we will make it as our community effort. It has built-in sample gallery, which I will show in a bit. It uses the same tooling as the Microsoft recommended tooling to scaffold your project, and under the hood, it comes together with CLI for Microsoft 365. So this is really awesome. If you install this extension, it actually leverages and has it as a dependency. You don't have to install it separately. And it similarly like Teams Toolkit has its own Teams Toolkit CLI. SharePoint Framework Toolkit uses the CLI for Microsoft 365 as its CLI. So really awesome. Okay, and why would you use SharePoint Framework Toolkit? Well, as I said before, it's the only extension out there, or maybe tooling, which helps you at every stage, from the very beginning when you start and you are learning SPFx from the ground up. You want to create a new project based on Scratch or sample. It helps you also with some managing features to get a hold of your tenant. So what app catalogs you have, where they're actually, how to deploy a build package to app catalog, and so on and so forth. It helps you in coding extensively. So it has a bunch of boosters that will help you, for example, validate your SPFx project or upgrade to the latest version, or help you coding with snippets. So it's a huge shortcut, and many more as well. It helps you deliver your project. So it helps you scaffold this CI/CD pipeline either for GitHub workflows or for Azure DevOps pipelines. And it is really production ready kind of flow to make it, to have the CI/CD and start your coding with it, not leave it at the very end where usually you don't have time and you just don't do it, and it helps you learn, okay? So it has more or less 22 main features, and now in the latest beta, it comes along with an AI assistant, which I'll also show today, I hope. So some might ask, why use this instead of Teams Toolkit? Well, I won't say instead, but together with, okay? So Teams Toolkit is targeting to extend not only Teams actually, but everything around now these days now Microsoft 365. So now it helps you extend Copilot, of course. So for example, it helps you create add-ins for Outlook. And along the way, it helps you also to extend Teams using SPFx WebPart when you want to, for example, add a tab. And that's where those two extensions can co-work together, because then SharePoint Framework Toolkit will see, okay, this SPFx WebPart was scaffolded by Teams Toolkit. I totally understand this project structure, and I will read it and help you boost it, okay? And let's move on. So how to get started? I won't be doing the slides today because maybe it's usually boring. So I'll just jump strictly to Visual Studio Code, and if something won't be working, I'll go back to the slides to keep my work safe. So this is my Visual Studio Code. As you can see, I have no project opened. And to get, I already have my SPFx Toolkit installed, but basically you go to the extension tab, so the VS Code like kind of marketplace, you type for SharePoint, usually it's at the top of the list. And here's the SharePoint Framework Toolkit, which you can install. And if you want to opt in the latest pre-release, which I highly recommend, it's not that it's going to crash or something, it's just the latest features we are working on. So we'll be coding at the edge with us. You have the switch to, now I have a release, but you have a switch to pre-release version, so you have to opt in one time for it, and then you will get always the latest updates. And after you install it, you will see it here as a new extension. So this is our SharePoint Framework Toolkit extension. You get a welcome experience when your VS Code is not opened in any kind of project which is SPFx related. So if you have something that is different than SPFx, then you will get a welcome experience which will help you get started. For example, how to create a new project, your sample. But basically, you need to have some feeling of SPFx. That's why we added not so long ago a walkthrough, which you can start here directly from this link, or when you are in the default VS Code welcome page, or if you installed this extension very first time. So if you install SPFx Toolkit at the very first time, it will open automatically. So this is awesome. And you will see this walkthrough you can always go back to at any point of time. And this helps you this gives you step-by-step guidance how to get started not only with this toolkit, but with SPFx in general. So as you can see, it explains what SharePoint Framework is, how to set up a developer tenant, and gives you action to go to the direct page where you can request and join the developer program. Okay, it helps you validate if you have your local workspace set up for the SPFx development. So it doesn't list what's actually needed, okay, but you have this action to check it. It doesn't matter if you click here directly from the walkthrough or you click here from the welcome experience. It's the same functionality. As you can see, it checked that, okay, I'm missing the gulp CLI. So this is the only dependency I've missed to start my SPFx journey. And I can click here, install dependencies, and you can see it will install or reinstall everything I need to get started with latest SPFx development. I will skip it now, okay, because we have time. But it's really cool. And then it helps you create a new project after you set up your local workspace. Probably the next step is to create a new project, and it gives you guidance like media kind of stuff, not only like text, but how to go with images step by step to go either from scratch or from a sample. I will show it in a bit. Then log in and so on and so forth. There are a couple of those steps that will help you. Then it will introduce you to this SPFx toolkit to leverage the most of those features. So these are the two main features you could use to get started with SPFx in general and with this toolkit. But now we introduce a new thing, and to show it, I need to jump into this VS Code. So this is VS Code Insiders. That's why it's green. That not because in Poland we have a different kind of VS Code. And this feature we introduced is really, really better. That's why it's only working currently if you have SPFx Toolkit in pre-release state. You also need to have the Copilot chat in pre-release as well, so beta as well, and you need to be using VS Code Insider, so like a beta version of, or like a pre-release version of VS Code. I estimated to more or less go to the standard version of VS Code in more or less a month or two, so not long of a wait. But now you already can use it. Now, if you go to the GitHub Copilot chat, and this is the standard GitHub Copilot experience, and if I would, for example, ask Copilot how to get started, let's see what will be the answer. Probably it will be just something general answer because, yeah, it doesn't know I'm talking about SPFx. Why should it know, right? Because I didn't give him this context. And now what you can do with our extension is, let's wait it for finish. It's got its anxiety to help me. You can add the SPFx directly, and it's all your prompts from now on are grounded to be dedicated for help you with SPFx in general. So answer like normal questions regarding SPFx or coding questions. So if now I would ask the same prompt, give the same prompt to our SPFx toolkit. So adjusting the reality matrix. I love this one. Okay, so now you can see it's not that the GitHub Copilot is answering, but SPFx Toolkit is answering your question. And this, as you can see, is a dedicated Copilot, you might say, towards SPFx Toolkit. It uses ChatGPT-4 under the hood, and it answers something that is already related to SharePoint Framework development, which is really cool. It comes along with a couple of comments. I will show two of them. So there are commands that are dedicated to help you code. There are commands that help you also get started, like the setup command or the new command. And so now we're using a command in your in the Copilot chat SPFx participant. It will give him guidance that, okay, you are more related to how to get started. So now let's say list me out the things I need to install to get me up and running. Okay, doesn't matter if I make some mistake. Let's make him. Let me think about it. Yeah. Okay, cool. So now when we use a dedicated command, as I said, it gives our toolkit additional guidance that your conversation is towards more setting up your workspace or creating a project, or let's say more coding related, and will give you always a code answer in it. And as you can see, it gives you actions. This is really awesome. So it not only answers your questions, but gives you an thing you can already start with a one click. And this is the same, you see, checking dependencies, what I have missing, what didn't install to keep me on running, and it tells me, okay, you missed this one dependency you need for SPFx Toolkit. So this is for SPFx development. So this is really awesome, and still for now, it's, as I said, a really early release of it, beta. So I would love if you would test it and give me a lot of feedback about it. Currently, it's more about discussing. So it's like your yellow duck, but a dedicated SPFx yellow duck, but gives you also clickable actions when it relates to a specific Copilot command. Okay. And in the near future, we are already experimenting to make it proactively doing something for you. So we want to introduce a manage feature where, for example, will allow you to ask questions about your app catalogs or apps you have installed on the app catalogs. And if you are logged in with SPFx Toolkit to your tenant, it will list them out directly in the chat. So it will be only also giving you information. Or new currently, for example, will give you guidance and the clickable actions to create a new project. But we want, for example, give you this power that you can type what kind of project you want to create. And if it fulfills all the needed parameters for the scaffolding command, it will run it for you. So these are the future things we are considering, but we need your feedback to keep us up and running. Okay. So for example, let's check out what coding. I don't have any time, but okay. How to get, this is something I will be for sure showing in later demos moving forward, and because the demo server and it's the first one. So how to get a list from how to get items from a SharePoint list and present them in a simple React component. And let's see how it goes. Yeah, so there are many failures still around it, so I'm really not stressed if it won't like, I can help you with that. Maybe it will happen, we'll see. And okay, let's wait a bit. Reading the docs, I guess it's learning to help us. Okay, sure. Nice. Okay, basically, this is awesome. So for example, it's suggested to install the PMP.js, which is quite common, okay? And it gives us some response. Okay, maybe it's not the best option, but it's not aimed to be the best, more tailored, the best approach, but it's a starting point that will give you get started. And this is what it's supposed to be now. Okay, so your yellow duck, your starting point to keep you quickly up and running only regarding your SharePoint framework stuff. Okay, let's move on to standard VS Code. And except learning and getting started with SharePoint Framework in general, of course, you need to create a new project. And with this toolkit, you have scaffolding forms for it. So you don't use the commands and the kind of hacky stuff. You have a nice view about it. And when you click on the create new project, you have the scaffolding form where you can, for example, pick the place where you want to create your next project. I hope I don't have this name already. Okay, cool. Then I'll just type something, and then you can create any of the SPFx supported components, for example, web part, library, adaptive card, and so on and so forth. And I'll just create whatever something and any kind of, I'll pick React as my preference framework. And I can either not run the npm install, which I will do for now, but for example, this is an additional step which is optional, and this is something new we added and we are experimenting with. It's except default scaffolding, you can also already say to it that, okay, besides creating a new project, I want you to already install the reusable controls for me and the PMP.js, which I use all the time, okay? And so this gives you an additional heads up in your scaffolding process, and you can see it will run the standard Yeoman SharePoint generate command to scaffold your project. So we didn't invent anything new. And right after it will be scaffolded and VS Code instance will reopen. Okay, so we'll not open a new instance, but reopen. Okay, that's what it did now. And as soon as VS Code will get up and running, it will also notice that, okay, except scaffolding this project, I was supposed to install the PMP.js and SPFx reusable controls, which is doing exactly now, as you can see. So giving you this heads up in your scaffolding journey. But this isn't the not only thing you can leverage. So maybe I'll jump to this VS Code. Doesn't matter which one you use. Why would you start from scratch if you have, let me check the latest number. Wow, 412 samples created by the community, which can be your starting point and be your project. So you can filter them out based on the SPFx version. Let's say I'm only interested in the 1.18.2, which are currently the latest version. Someone contributed a sample to our sample gallery. I'm only interested in web parts. And besides just going directly to the repo or hitting the use, which will create this project, you can also go to the view, which will present you everything the contributor added in the README file of this sample. And it's really awesome because it gives you a lot of directions, what is supported and what is not supported. If you click on the use, it will ask you to pick the location where you want to create this project. I'll just create something really quick. Something new. OK, this looks perfect. And you can rename it. So this is something you would typically do if you would be using probably a sample from the sample gallery. It allows you to download the sample directly, or you need to either download the whole repo and cut this sample you are interested in. Here, you download this sample directly and you rename it along the way. And yeah, I kind of trust it. OK, so this is really awesome. And then maybe I'll jump here. When SPFx Toolkit is in the context of an SPFx project and SPFx solution, as you can see, its context changed. So it's no more showing you the welcome experience, but showing you some panels I will be showing in the next demo. For the first one, for example, our first two are like our management features that allow you to, for example, get some insights about your tenant and your tenant health. Then the next one shows you all of the app catalogs, your tenant-wide deployed currently extensions, and your site app catalogs, which you can click and directly redirect to. It has all of the goal tasks, some awesome actions I will be showing in the next demo, so please do join me, and a section that is still dedicating for people that are trying to learn more and get the Microsoft recommended docs about it or the learning path. So this is the first section. Additional tooling that will help you, like the Microsoft Graph or the Adaptive Card Previewer or the Teams Toolkit, of course, and many, many more, and how to connect with our community to join the Discord server, to ask any kind of questions, or get more guidance about this toolkit specifically. So, for example, go to our docs, and then here you will get the extensive information about each feature which we added and how it works, and with all of the content showing usually some small movie if it's a bigger feature, how it works step by step. Okay. Okay, that's about it, and I can start walk through also from this place as well. And my presentation is somewhere here, but I skipped most of the slides, so I had them as a backup. And that's about it, everybody. So this is my ending slide. Thanks a lot for being with me on this getting started with SPFx with SPFx Toolkit. I hope you will join the next demo in 2 weeks, where I'll be presenting how this toolkit uses works in action to help you code your SPFx project. So those snippets, those actions, those upgrades, and so on and so forth. And of course, our AI assistant to help you write better code. Or maybe not better code, but code, basically. Okay, please be sure to visit our repo if you want to contribute and help us build this product, and join our Discord server to connect. Thanks a lot. Back to you, David.
Awesome, Adam. That is a jam-packed featured demo right there, man. Really, really cool stuff. Love the Copilot integration and all that. It's really helpful. It's starting to be able to tell us anything, right? Soon enough, I'm going to ask it how I can get my kids to clean their room, and it's going to have an answer for me. So I can't wait. Great stuff. Great stuff. And everybody, this is a multi-part series, so I know we all going to want to rewatch all these demos. So we'll got some information for you on how you can do that here very soon. So let's wrap this up. We want to thank Guido, Stefan, and Adam. You are amazing. Fantastic work on these demos, so useful. We would not have these calls without your incredible passion and willingness to share with the community. We would like to get some feedback from you all. This is very helpful for us to show management how valuable these calls are. So even if you've already provided the feedback, then please don't hesitate to provide it again, even if it's still going good, or if you've got some input on things you'd like to see improved, we'd love to hear that. We are here to support you and encourage and provide you a way to utilize the technology that we know and love each and every single day. And if you'd like to collaborate with other members and like-minded, passionate folks in the community, we've got our Discord server. So this is a server that's set up to make you look cool in front of your kids. Really, that's the only reason we set it up, everybody. The collaboration secondary. We want to look cool in front of the kids, but you can collaborate. It's a one-stop shop to cover all of the span of spectrum things that we discussed today. So things like CLI are in there, PnP PowerShell, SPFx Teams, the toolkit, all that good stuff. It's a great one-stop shop to collaborate with other members of the community. It's absolutely free for you all to join. Now, the recording of this, again, I mentioned we're going to want to watch it over and over and over because there's so much in there that I know we'll likely have missed, and we want to catch it all. It's going to be available within 24 hours, usually sooner, on the Microsoft Community Learning YouTube channel. You want to go like and subscribe and get alerted for all the new drops. If you go to ak.ms/community/videos or YouTube, it will take you directly to that account, and you can sign up to be alerted as soon as they drop. The teams will tell you that the video is ready to be viewed, and no, it won't, not unless you're a Microsoft employee. So you want to definitely go subscribe to YouTube so that you can be alerted as soon as those videos are available, amongst all the other amazing videos that the community is outputting and can be showcased there. You can also follow us on Twitter at Microsoft 365 Dev or at M365 PNP. The next Viva Connections SharePoint Framework call will be 2 weeks from today, June 27th. Wow, we're going to be at the halfway point of the year, almost at that point. And the next M365 Power Platform call will be the exact same time that you are at right now, actually 1 hour earlier, right? We're going to go back in time. June 20th, next week, available for you. We're going to be here every single week for you. All the calls are available, ak.ms/community/calls. So go and download those calendar invites so that you can be alerted and reminded to attend each and every one. Again, thank you to our amazing presenters. Thank you to everyone in the community who has joined the call to support them today. We would not have these calls or this community without you, so we love all of your passion, and thank you so much. Have a great, wonderful rest of your day and a fantastic weekend, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.